Ethos of Silence.
A veteran podcast aims to amplify the voices of veterans, creating a safe space for authentic conversations about their experiences, challenges, and triumphs. We seek to break the stigma surrounding mental health and foster community support, resilience, and understanding.
Go lay down, Zeus.
Come on, Zeus. Zeus. Such an epic name.
Lay down, big dog.
All right, dog.
Lay down.
Step 6, huh?
Yeah.
Well, 7. Step 7.
Bring it up. Go lay down.
The
Lay down.
Oh man, come on, Zeus, get down. Get down. Get down. Get down. Get down.
Good boy.
Come on, Zeus.
Good boy.
There you go, Zeus.
Good boy. Him's calm now.
Good little Zeus. Him's calm.
He's got gray hairs now. He's getting old.
Just like the rest of us, man.
Mm-hmm.
Can't hide age. You know what? That gray hair just means there's a little wisdom behind the words coming out of your mouth.
Thanks, brother.
A little bit of experience. I may not be as young as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was.
That was good once. Oh, come on, everybody. Drink a Dr. Pepper.
That's it.
Okay. This is a different site. So we were on 6 earlier, right?
Well, we finished 6. 6 was giving yourself.
Being ready for God to take over.
Well, yeah, being ready for God to take
This
over.
one reads different.
So let's read 1 through 6 and start on 7.
I want to go back. This one says we're entirely ready to have God remove all of the defects of character.
Okay, whatever. Let's start back over from the top with that one. That sounds good to me, dog. Anyway, this is content. Anyway, we're talking. People are listening. We're working on ourselves and working through it and working the process. And you got to rework the steps and everything else. Let's start back over at the top with this one. It'll buff.
6. We were.
It'll buff. Just talking to the mic and we'll be all right.
Oh yeah, I got to get back on top of that stuff.
All right, so I guess we came to a consensus that we don't know how to save websites, so we use the same one again. So we'll start from the top.
Everybody can hear me loud and clear here. Number 6, we're entirely ready to have God remove all the defects of character, because again, we are believing that it's not our standards that are going to save us. So our own thinking that got us in this mess to begin with. So we're working to put trust and faith that God can remove those. And in number 7, it goes on to say, humbly ask him to remove our shortcomings.
Humbly ask him to remove our shortcomings.
I think humbly is the key word here.
Humbly. Well, yeah, the way you approach the asking of forgiveness changes everything. The fact that you humbled yourself to realize you had a problem. Yeah, I mean,
just as much as I know that person, if they came and sincerely apologized rather than just came up and said, yeah, well, I guess I shouldn't have done that, I don't know, whatever.
Come on, man.
I know it as much, so I definitely know God knows it.
You think?
God knows it. He knows our hearts. Number 8 made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends with all of them. That's quite a list, depending on the person. I mean, if you got several people that you've done stuff to, the magnitude of it, reapproaching that person, it can be done, and you've got to process that out of what occurred in that time frame and be able to accept it that you've changed, and that can be quite a bit. If back then, whenever I did consume a lot of alcohol, I was more selfish and more of an asshole, and so there were times that were apparent to me. And it might have been on the big scale of problematic in the world, but to me, in relationships, that was hard for me to stop. Once you went cold turkey, and now you're making a list of these people, and I did this and that.
But that's like the polar opposite, or the not the polar opposite, but the brother that's tagging along with you from the fact of making a list of your internal problems whenever we were there before. You know, like you're doing that inward reflection, and you're making a list of where you can better yourself, right? Mm-hmm. And now once you've bettered yourself, and we're along in the process, and you're like, okay, I've made this list, I've bettered myself, I know my flaws, I'm working on my flaws, I'm not a perfect person. Mm-hmm. I will continue to better myself and work on these flaws. But in this process of bettering myself and working on these flaws, now I'm at this step to where I'm acknowledging the fact of where all of my flaws have now harmed other people, done things that I am not proud of, and or done things that I need to repent for, right? And in that process, I need to evaluate and see what that looks like to just make my soul feel better for the fact that I've wronged others in my life.
I have to drain myself of all the things that I'm going to get hung up on moving forward too. You know, I'm bettering myself. So yeah, I'm not that person anymore. So I'm going to look back and go, I did do that.
That's the perfect thing is hung up. Yes. Mm-hmm. Anything that is going to hang me up, and or realizing that in the future, if there's something that pops up that is hanging me up that I forgot to put on this list, now I've learned how to deal with problems, deal with the fact of a situation that I am not happy happened a certain way, like I
have to deal with it in the way that I've been being taught to do it.
Been taught to do it It's like when we put our little kid in timeout, and then we have them tell us why they were in timeout and all the other different stuff. And, are they sorry for what they did? And yada, yada, yada. And, is your brother food? And all the little funny puns you tell your kids, right? But the fact of sincerely apologizing with the fact that, hey, yeah, you made me mad. I probably shouldn't have bit you, hey.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
it's learning how to communicate.
Absolutely, as a communication skill. That's what get lost. That's right. That's right, TJ. That's what gets lost upon them. Just the simple miscommunications and lack thereof communications. So you made a list of all these people we had miscommunication with, harms, and then said, I'm going to make it a personal goal, and I'm not moving off of it to make it right and to mend with them no matter what I did, no matter what happened.
No matter what happened. Gonna make it right.
And if I can't, then I will do it with all that I can. And I won't say, well, I couldn't get to that person, so I'm not going to do it. Or that you still have to process that one. I think it continues down in this other one. So number 10 is continued to take a personal inventory. And when we were wrong, we promptly admitted it. Didn't let it fester, didn't let it do us such damage as it's done before, because we've learned now that biting my brother is going to get me in a lot of trouble, and he's not food. And, going to spend all my money somewhere on alcohol I'm not going to be able to pay the bills, number 11, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understand Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. That's moving.
That is moving. So that's acknowledging the fact that we're just praying for Him to give us the knowledge that we need to do all of these very, very difficult things that we have learned how to do and that we have been fighting with, praying for Him to give us the guidance and the knowledge to deal with handling all these steps and repenting for everything we've done and helping us break this addiction that we're not proud of, that we consider to be something that we're insane for having, for helping us better ourselves so that we can better everything around us, all the steps all together. And we're not asking for Him to take away this addiction. What we're asking for is the ability to self-reflect and the ability for you to give me the knowledge I need to help prevent me from
stumbling on that again,
from stumbling into this addiction again. Mm-hmm. I'm not asking for you to heal me. I'm asking you to give me the tools to heal myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is the way he works too. He gives, the book is just basically an outline of everything that you need to do and learn and understand in order to fix what is broken. That's absolutely right. Number 12.
Celebrate with a beer.
How'd you know that's what it said?
Wouldn't that be fucked up?
I'm looking at it right here. That would be, yeah. You're done. Just go back to step 1.
You're done. Go back to step 1.
I tricked you.
The process repeats itself or we'd lose money.
Oh my
12
gosh.
steps presented by Budweiser.
Why do they call it Budweiser? Because you're not any wiser with the Bud.
Oh, yeah, but you think you are, Bud.
Yeah, you are. It should be called Bud Dumber.
Bud Dumber?
Yeah. Or Miller Heavy. Because there ain't nothing light about it. Number 12. Having had a spiritual awakening as the result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in our affairs. Pretty self-explanatory, right? You're going to keep walking the same path that you walked, and you're walking out of school. So now you're a student of this, and now you're a practicer of this, and eventually through these steps, and you've maintained to get control of your life, and you don't have, you can be a capable person. There's not somebody taking care of you and watching you through all your steps. And
practice, preach, and teach.
Practice, preach, and teach. You're not, all your natural freedoms as a person hasn't been taken away. You're earning them. You're earning them back. So eventually they become their own sponsor to somebody else. That's a big step for somebody to take and say that they're comfortable enough with their life and they've experienced enough, they're solid enough to tell somebody something that would
to assist them with the responsibilities that cause other people to have the urges to give in to their temptations of whatever they are, but to assist with that responsibility with another person.
That takes time. It takes a lot of time to get comfortable with oneself that they won't stumble on that again.
Well,
naturally.
but also the you have so many responsibilities in the world, as a person, right? You have your self-responsibility to take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't do anything else, and you're one of these homeless drug heads on the side of the street, trying to take care of themselves by gathering enough cans to get their next hit, right? Mm-hmm. Or just your responsibilities as a man to go and provide for your family and everything else, and you get lost in the ebb and flow of life while you're doing all that. And it's so hard to take responsibility for another soul. I've got so many responsibilities in my life. I couldn't even think of taking on another responsibility of another person to be that for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The insanity part of it is to think, and while all of those things that have gotten someone knocked down to that level, that their everyday thoughts, whether they're that hobo that's on crack or whatever it is, that they're not loved anymore. Because there's the power in love. They've gotten so far and displaced from
society,
that their everyday thought, and this is also biblical about the arrows, the fiery darts that come at you, that they're not specifically saying like these sentences, but they're saying you can't do this.
Yeah.
You can't get from where you are now to this. You can't. You're not loved. No one's around you. You stink. And that's the day-to-day life that they're living. But once you put in the fact that every one of these steps and each and every thought that was put into this was made in the power of love. And anyone can start from wherever they're at. If they've got a breath in their lungs,
yeah,
know that that there is someone out there that cares about them.
Okay.
Someone that loves them. And even beyond that, if they've lost hope in humanity, think about the God and the Creator that created all this. He loved it so much. He provided everything on this planet for us to eat, for us to have, for us to use. That will never change. As long as somebody can wake up and look at the world in their eyes and see them, they got two eyes to see it, that visual reassurance is faith enough to know that there is a God and a Creator that loves them and that is sorrowful when they're sorrowful, sad when they're sad.
Yeah.
And has given us as mankind the tools in order to get from that. We need people, yes, but man doesn't always have every single simple answer to do this. It's not unheard of, I would say, that someone would go right from being homeless on the streets to directly back into the cares and the confinements of a good, loving space where they need to be. Just remembering that they're loved, or somebody loves them, and somebody cares about them. Without that love, there's no hope. There's no way of doing it. So, people around the world are cared about, and we practice a lot in social societies and groups and chats and platforms to not be hyper focused on all that negativity and hate and all that. That's a bunch of sludge being spewed out.
Yeah,
it's never been a tool. It's never gonna help with a situation coming out of stuff. But yeah, just you're right. Self-care. That's one of the main things. Love yourself.
Love thyself.
Love thyself. Love thyself in a way that is not harmful. That's balanced out with what's going to help you in life, and that other people love you, and you're part of that. No matter who they are, what they've done, or what they think they've done, they can come out of it. That's the way God views them. He doesn't view another human being.
But taking these 12 steps to help and fix yourself, thus you're able to fix whatever problem you have going on in your life, because you take a self-inventory, you realize what's going on, you realize that you want it fixed, and you take the steps required to fix it, and you acknowledge the fact that it's not something that can be fixed overnight, and a lot of the things are not something that you personally can fix.
That's the biggest
thing.
That
it's something that you need faith to fix, because it's a lot of the stuff that's out of your hands.
Yep. I was wanting to say something. I can't remember.
Just because it's out of your hands doesn't mean you can't make the individual self-improvements to become a better person.
Yep. You don't care about don't be caring about what other people think about you. Worry about your own character.
No. Don't worry about other people, man. You can't. So don't get hung up on the facets of life that are outside of your control and outside of your lateral limits. Like I was saying, to be a man, you've got to be able to put your foot down and not be hung up on the people that it upset that you put your foot down. Mm-hmm. Because this is what has to happen in the best interest of my family.
Yeah.
I love you. I understand this. I understand where you're coming from. But this is what has to happen in the best interest of everybody who just has anything to do with this.
Let me parallel that for a second.
Yeah.
Think about this. One of the steps mentioned that making amends with some of the people that were hurt. Mm-hmm. You're not going to be able to make amends with everybody.
No, they're not all here.
And they're going to have to accept that.
And a lot of it's, you can't logically make amends with whoever you got in a bar fight with that you don't even know who was all in that bar scuffle forever ago.
That's one. Or somebody has not have enough forgiveness in their heart to understand that you're bettering yourself and you've changed. So the important thing is not, it's one of those double things, right? Like you need to care about what people think in a thoughtful way, but you can't care about where they think you have based an improvement on, because it's about not what they think, it's about your own character itself. That's what's important.
Yeah, it's forgiving yourself for the transgressions, not you forgiving them or them forgiving you. It's 100%. You forgiving yourself for the transgressions.
Yeah, and you made the effort to go say that.
Yeah.
And you've gotten past that. Now it's there. That's on them now.
If you're a drunk driver and you killed somebody, the last thing you actually want to do is go and apologize to the wife of the guy that you killed. You know, like that's probably not the best scenario to do. As
situational, I guess.
It is situational.
Some
I get
people have a good amount of forgiveness in their heart that's huge.
I hear you. I hear you.
But
and some people don't.
I wouldn't recommend it. No,
and there's no reason to create a situation that like. There's so many situations, and situations are situational, and it depends exactly what's going on for what you believe is the best possible thing to do and what you need to do in your soul and down to your bones and down to your core to repent for whatever happened.
Anybody on a moment's notice can, in that moment, be better than they were a moment ago and build right off of that. It doesn't matter where they are. You can build right off of that. And if they want to, and if they don't want to, they're just going to be that person that does not do it and is going to be that way. Don't be that person.
Yeah.
Be the person that wants to be better in noticeable ways and to themselves. Or I guess sit in prison and be a prisoner that did something all day and lavishes in what they do. I don't think that's not human.
I don't think that's human either.
That's a possession of a type. To do some of the things that can be done to another person and not have any moral aptitude to take a stock and inventory of that. So, yep, be the good person that pushes beyond that. And if you can't and you don't feel the control, 12 steps can do it, or just getting down on one knee at any point, place, and time in the entire world and humbly putting yourself before the Father of all creation and saying, man, I have screwed up everything in my entire life. I can't believe this. And reaching out. And that's the hardest thing to do sometimes. The most hated people are the ones that are trying to prove right. Like we said earlier, the ones that they're not doing what everybody else is doing. They're open. They're asking questions about it. So at any point, somebody can turn their life around in a moment's notice. It doesn't take any time. Absolutely. Life is so great and grand and given to us that way.
It is.
And really, in my faith perspective, is what I know every day is that the battle has already been won. Why am I fighting? What am I fighting for? The battle is already won to me means that God has already created himself into flesh. He's already defeated death. He's already gone down to Hades and got the keys to hell. And now he's waiting. So that battle's already been, he's already redeemed salvation through him. So I have nothing to fight for. I have nothing to prove to anyone. No one else should have to feel like they have to prove anything to anyone. They're going to stand in front of an almighty Father at some point. All of us will. And there will be two judgments. So, and I fear that. A good, healthy fear of God is good.
Yeah.
That he can condemn us in a minute to his authority and his just authority, because he cannot have any darkness in him. You don't want that. I answer to him and only him.
The power to solve our problems is within the steps that we talked about, evaluating it and giving over the authority.
Yeah, he's a forgiving, loving God.
Yeah, and we're lucky to be here. Well, brother, any final words of wisdom? Wrapping up the little 12 steps we talked about we need to do just 4 months ago now.
Encourage anybody that's on the path to keep the path and keep working the program. Keep coming back to the truth and realities of life, and you're going to get it.
Sounds great, brother.
You're going to make it.
Yeah. Ethos of Silence. We're out.
If you need more information on veterans benefits, please visit our website at VFWPost4224.org. That's Victor Foxtrot Whiskey, post4224.org. All of our contact information is in the description of the video. Please email us if you have any questions. We now have a moment of silent prayer for those still in the battle, for our departed comrades, for those missing in action, and for those held as prisoners of war.